Hi everybody, I've been asked by a couple people to show how to do my backgrounds. I do my backgrounds using dilution paints because they layer wonderfully and then they bleed into each other when they're slightly wet and create soft different colors, which I love. We're going to start by using this image from Oddball Art Images, and the reason I like these digital downloads is because you can get any size you want. You can have them available whenever you need them. Print up a bunch, take them with you, travel, color, bring them back, and then add them to your journal book. They're just amazing, okay? And I fell in love with Lizzy Love's designs because they're just so cute. I mean, who couldn't have fun with these images? Okay, so today we're going to be using the Oddball Image Spooky Big Eye Art Fiona Feary number 170/170B by Lizzy Love, and these are located on Etsy. Okay, I'm not going to show you how to color her. All I'm going to show today is just how to do the background, and I'm going to show you what I did with her. But I will I do have a video out how I color my images with dilution inks, which are these. And what you do is you take these inks and you buy the water brushes, and you take a dropper and you fill it full of ink. You squeeze it into here, and then you add the rest, and you'll squeeze plain water, bottled water. Make sure it's bottled because you don't want it to mold or mildew or anything, because you fill this up, it's going to take you forever to use all this ink out of here. It goes a long ways. Okay, so you want to fill your each brush with your different color, because once you put that color in there, that's it, it's stained. You can go back and it will be a mess if you try to mix another color with it. So like I did, I just wrote on here what my color is. So today we're going to be doing, well, on the image we used bubblegum pink, polished jade, fresh lime, and Campso teal. And that's what I used to color the image. And then I also used to color the image my Prismcolor Pencils, and I have a list of them. And then you need your mineral spirits, any kind you want to use. I use the Hobby Lobby cheap brand, works perfect. Some stumps, and then to do the shading, I used the Stabilo Mark All pencil, the black, and then I designated my brush for that only, and I don't use it for nothing but it, because it gets messy, and this is permanent when it dries. Okay, and then of course her hair I did with the Wink of Stella. I did one in the light shade and one in the dark, which the one on there has the light, I think it is. And then the gel pen for the white for her eyes. This to come back in and add the detail to the eyes. The white for the dots. And then of course we have our backgrounds. We will have our dilution products, which are our paints. We'll be using the colors Vibrant Turquoise, Bubblegum Pink, Lemon Zest, and Fresh Lime. Okay, and I do them on the brush like this because it makes it easier. And we're using her vines, Dylusions vines, and then we're using her stacked squares. Okay, this is what I did. All we're going to do today is we're going to do the background. And I did a simple one today just to get you started. And as I go, I will progress into more, layering more, going much further with this. But I thought to start with, to teach you the basics, and that way once you learn the basics, you can move forward. If you're advanced, you can incorporate it into yours, however you choose. But this is what I did with her. And I used some glossy accent for her eyes and her mouth and her little bow. And I'm going to add some on her wings right in here to make her look really cute. Okay, and I just put a quote on there. So it's true, you really do shine like the sun. And I just think this is such a cute little image. And this will go in as a tip in into my art journal book. Okay, the paper I chose to use, I like this paper the most. It is my most favorite because I don't gesso this prior, because when you're using the dilution paints, you do not need to gesso first. You can, but you don't have to. I find that it works better without gessoing it. It just depends how much layering. Now, if I'm going to add a lot of spray ink directly onto the paper, I like to gesso because it bleeds through. Okay, so I use this paper and I just buy a bigger pack and then I cut it down. And the reason I cut it down is because I like to use the strips and do other things with it. So just an idea. Okay, so let's get started. I've made a list and I will post it at the end of the colors that I'm using. I've listed here for you. And the shades, so that you'll know, the light and the pink, and you can decide which, way you want to go. And then the stencils that I used. But like I said, I will post this at the end for y'all to have, so if you want to buy any of the stuff. Okay, so let's just get started. I get so excited. And of course, always stamp your image with your Archivals Rangers ink, jet black, because it needs to be waterproof, because you are applying layers of anything with fluid, wet, you need a waterproof ink. Okay, so let's get this back in order. And then just random stamps. Okay, we're going to start with our green. Sorry about my messy work area, but I have fun. I am a messy crafter. Never take your paint and go directly on your page. You'll overload it, and then it's very hard to get it off if it's overloaded. It's easier to add than it is to bring it back. And what I like to do is I like to pick a corner, a place, and I like to be random. No rhyme or reason. And then I like to come back with my baby wipe as soon as I place it, and I like to rub it out some. I like the smooth look, because then you can layer more. And say, here, keep in mind a rule of thumb. Anything that's in a triangle is pleasing to the eye, and it helps your layout to flow, because everybody's like, well, why is it flowing? Because I'm keeping in mind 3-point triangle effect. And as you can see, I just pull it on out. And like if you go further out, don't worry, because the next color I bring in is going to blend it in. So see, I'm keeping the 3, and if you go straight across and up, that's a triangle. However you want to flip the paper. It just depends which way you're going. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in the yellow. Be careful when you're doing this that you do not, if you don't want your colors to bleed and mix, don't apply them while they're wet on wet, because you're going to get bleeding. But I like the bleeding. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my yellow. And again, I'm choosing the 3 areas that I think would be really to make a triangle effect. Come back, same rag, because I want it to bleed into the next color. I'm all about that. I think it gives you an unexpected color that you're not expecting to see. And it just really just makes the page pop. Okay. So now I've done my yellow. We're going to do our pink. Pink, if yours looks like this, don't worry about it. It's still good. There's nothing wrong with it. Just what I recommend is that when you, oh no, I grabbed the wrong one. It's a good thing I saw that. That would have been a disaster. Okay. Do not grab it and put it onto the page. Even though the lumps will smear out, they're going to leave a line and it's going to be a big mess. Just bring it onto your sheet, rub it out. Now this one, the pink, I find you have to work fast with if you're going to use the baby wipe, because if not, it's going to show your marks. See how even though I'm going fast, it's still going to show, so you really got to blend it in there. Okay. And see, and as you bring it down, it starts going orange. I think we need just a slab here. I hope I'm staying in focus for all of y'all. This is my first time showing my painting how to do these, so bear with me, please, please. Because I will be honest, I am a nervous wreck doing this. Okay, now I want to bring in some blue. Again, take my baby white, smooth it out. Notice the different colors I'm starting to get that I didn't even try to get. That's the beauty of this paint. That's why I'm in love with this paint. If you want to control it, then heat set dry each layer separately so they do not do this. But even doing that, know that if you get it wet and it lays on there for a while, it will change the color. Not a lot, but a little bit. Okay, I like this, okay? And I'm gonna leave that white spot because I just think it looks cool like that. I like that. I'm happy with what I've got. Okay, so the next step we're gonna do, and another thing I wanna teach also is that when you're doing this, everybody's like, how do you do them so fast? Anytime I use a stencil, which I'm fixing to do, I clean my stencil off on a clean sheet of paper, because then I'm always ready with my next layout page. All the work is done. I just come back in, add another color to make it work, or another stamp, whatever I might need. Okay, so now we're going to do the vine. We're just going to do it in the actually we're going to do the triangle. I switched it off. I thought I did the vine, but I actually did the triangle. This is my second attempt to do this today, so like I said, I got really nervous. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here with my dry. You notice I didn't pick up any more paint. It's got plenty on here. You see how these lines and stuff? Don't worry about that, because when you start adding everything else on here, it will cover it up. It's not a big deal. You will not even know that that's there. You know, honestly, yeah, I try not to have them, but if I do get them, I don't worry over it, because like I said, it will work its way out. And then I just randomly pick where I want my little squares to go. No rhyme or reason, to be honest with you. I don't think I have any. I just keep in mind that odd numbers, always odd. Never do even. It's just more pleasing to the eye to do odd, okay? So, after I do that, I come back in and I ghost it. And what I do is I just grab and clean off the stencil, which is what I'm doing on my clean sheet also. And so, like, I will just add some ghosting in there, because then it adds another layer. Clean up my paint off my table. Use it to waste not. I don't like to waste any of my paints, because these bad puppies are gold. Okay, so I'm liking that. So then what I would come back and do, like normally you would have more paint left over on here, so just for purposes of cleaning the stencil, I will come in and clean my stencil on here, and I would keep the same thing going like this, and I would just clean my stencil. Like this, okay? And once it's cleaned, I'm done. Okay, that starts your first layer of your next one. And this is how you, when you're done with this, you will have a whole sheet, and it's just amazing. So